Good morning. It's 8 a.m. I have my coffee ready to go. I'm starting out with The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I'm already about 40% into this. So first book of the challenge is hopefully finishing this. And I will check in with you guys when I am more awake and more alive. And we're starting the timer. I didn't do an intro before because I was so tired, but welcome to my 24-hour readathon. I've never done one of these before, but I've always wanted to because they look so fun. But normally people do it and they try and stay up for 24 hours straight and they do it that way. And I just cannot do that to myself. I have a 9 to 5. My sleep schedule gets messed up very easily and I just have not wanted to risk the repercussions of staying up for 24 hours straight. So I'm doing it over a weekend instead. Which honestly I still think is going to be a challenge because my undiagnosed ADHD brain, I feel like, is not good at focusing on certain things for that long if it's not something I want to be focusing on, if that makes sense. So I'm hopeful that I can successfully complete this challenge, but only time will tell. It's a few hours later from when I started this challenge and I'm only 2.5 hours in, which is so scary because I already feel like I've been reading forever for some reason. But I'm currently at 21 hours and 31 minutes left. I'm still reading The Thursday Murder Club, which is a cozy mystery about these people that live in a retirement village, and every Thursday they get together to go over cold cases, but then someone who's connected to the retirement village gets murdered, and so now they're trying to solve that case. It's an interesting premise, but for some reason it just feels like the longest book ever. I'm still only 70% through and it just feels so slow. I don't know if it's because it's a cozy mystery and I'm not used to those. I'm used to reading regular thrillers and mysteries, or if it's something with the writing style. I don't know, but I am kind of getting sick of it, but I also am invested now because I'm so far into it that I want to know what happens. So I think what I'm going to do is switch to a different book for right now, and then I'll just go back to that later and maybe I'll just switch back and forth, because I feel like for something like this I need books that are really gonna like hook me and suck me in, and I don't know if that one is doing it for me right now. So I think what I'm going to start now is Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is her new release. It just came out. It's the second book in, I don't even know what the series is called. I don't know. It's the sequel to Wild Love that came out I think earlier this year, which I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of. I think I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was just alright. But the whole series is single dad romances, and if you've been here for a while, you know how I feel about the single parent trope. So I'm kind of determined to like this series, even though the first one was not my fave. And I definitely didn't hate it. It just was okay to me. But I really like Elsie Silver's other books that I've read, so fingers crossed that I like this one. I think it's about a country music star who ends up in this small town classic, and I'm not really sure how she gets involved with the single dad. I think she ends up staying with him. Maybe I made that up. I think this will be perfect because, at least for me, if I'm into a romance, I can read it in one sitting, no problem. So my goal for today is finish Wild Eyes if I like it. If not, we'll have to find something else, and finish The Thursday Murder Club. So we'll see. I really like, I don't know what to expect out of this challenge because I've never done this before, so we're just gonna have to see how it goes. Their meet cute is so cringe. Okay, I'm 4 hours in now, and I'm 25% of the way through Wild Love. The first book in the series followed childhood friend. It was like best friend's sister, or brother's best friend. I don't know. Anyway, he's like a billionaire or something, and he's opening this recording studio in their hometown. And that's like the premise for the first one, and now she, the famous singer in this book, shows up to record, but she shows up early, and so nothing's really done yet, and so she ends up staying with the best friend slash brother, West, and he's the love interest in this one. Okay, even though I thought their meet cute was cringe, it's really cute so far. It's kind of giving adult Hannah Montana movie, like famous pop star, ends up in a small town, etc. And I was obsessed with that movie when I was younger. Rightfully so, because it's one of the best movies ever, duh. But it kind of has that vibe, except it's not cowboy, which a lot of Elsie Silver's books are. It's like a lake town, and it's more, well, I guess it's sort of cowboy romance because he's like a horse trainer, but I just feel like it has a different vibe than like the Chestnut Spring series. It's more like mountainy, but it is cute. And I think I said he's a single dad, and I really like both of his kids. They're really cute, and I am enjoying it so far, and it's been an easy read, which is good. I feel like I definitely could finish this today, like no problem. I'm at just about 16 hours left, which is pretty good, honestly. I feel good about that. I did finish Wild Eyes. This one's Wild Eyes. I finished Wild Eyes, and I liked it. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I was gonna say maybe 4, but I don't know. I did really enjoy it, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it could be given a little bit more, so I'm gonna settle on 3.5 stars. And now I'm gonna hopefully finish the Thursday Murder Club, or at least I'm gonna read that until I fall asleep, and I can probably get in another like hour or two of reading before I fall asleep. So hopefully I can also finish that. I'm really interested to figure out at the end of this challenge how fast I read, because I feel like I read so slow. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but when I say like I read for 8 hours and I read like a book and a quarter, it just doesn't seem like that much. So at the end of this, I really want to figure out like how many pages an hour I can read, just out of curiosity, and if I'm like a fast or slow reader. But for right now, I'm going to bed. Not really going to bed, but I say that as if I literally haven't been in bed all day. I literally have not left my bed today, basically, at all. And we're just getting right back in it to keep reading. Okay, it's the next day. I went to work, came home, showered, ate dinner, did all that. I'm ready to lock in and do some reading. I've got the ambiance video going. I'm in my PJs. Do I really feel like reading? Not really, if we're being honest, but I read for an hour and a half last night, and then I listened to an hour of an audiobook at work. I finished the Thursday Murder Club. Thank God. Honestly, I really did not like it, and I felt like the literal longest book ever. I could not wait for it to be over, and that leaves me with 12 hours and 37 minutes left, which I feel good about, honestly. I feel like if I read for like 4 or 5 hours tonight, I can definitely finish tomorrow. Feels achievable. I'm in a thriller mood, so I think I'm gonna read The Last Word by Taylor Adams. And this is also kind of short, so I'm hoping I can read most of this or maybe finish it tonight. It's like 6 o'clock, and I will probably just read until like 10 or 11 when I go to bed. So let's go. I've been reading for like 2 hours, but I'm scared. I've been reading The Last Word, which I guess is like a horror thriller, or like just a horror, which I didn't realize, and I'm getting a little freaked out. It's about a girl who's house sitting in this really remote beach in Washington State, and she leaves a 1-star review for a horror ebook that she read, and ever since she wrote the 1-star review, weird things have been happening at night, and she feels like someone's there, and it's just really creepy. I mean, it's because I house sit a lot and pet sit a lot too, and I lived in Washington, so I don't know, I'm just like getting freaked out. So I'm gonna switch over to a romance, and I probably will continue this tomorrow in broad daylight, but for right now I'm gonna switch to a romance. I think I'm gonna start I'll Get Back to You. This is actually a Christmas rom-com, which I know is kind of insane considering it's September, but I got the arc off NetGalley, and I think it comes out in like a week or two, so I obviously want to read it and review it before it comes out. So I think I'm just gonna read it now, even though it's like 80 degrees out, but whatever. I don't really know much about it. I know it's a sapphic rom-com, and they fake date. I think she's like failing a class or something, and then it's like the other love interest's mom or something like that. I don't know exactly, but I know it's fake dating, and I know it's a sapphic Christmas rom-com, so I'm excited. Hopefully that'll be good and isn't gonna give me nightmares. It's getting late, aka 10:30, and I'm honestly exhausted, so I'll probably read for a little bit longer before I fall asleep. You can tell I'm not wearing my contacts. But I have 9.5 hours of reading left. I was hoping to read a little bit more tonight, but it's fine. And I read 25% of, what is this called? I'll Get Back to You. And I'm actually really enjoying it so far. And I feel like it's going to be a pretty fast read because I just read that 25% really quickly, I feel like. So that's definitely good. Good morning. It is bright and early. It's 7:35. We're in the home stretch, friends. The final day of the 24-hour readathon. I had to come and get Dunkin'. Normally I make coffee at home, but I needed that extra something to get through today. I don't think I really read for much longer after I updated you guys last night. I read for like another half hour, I think. Let me see. So I have 8 hours and 21 minutes left, which isn't too bad. Do I wish it was 2 or 3 hours instead? Kind of, but that's okay. On the TBR for today is I'm gonna finish I'll Get Back to You. I was enjoying that last night and it was a pretty quick read, and it's set over Thanksgiving, not Christmas, so that makes a lot more sense why it's coming out right now. I also realized I haven't really been talking that much about the books, so I think tomorrow when I'm done, I'm just gonna go through and do like a review and just talk more in depth about what I thought of all the books. But I'm enjoying that, so I'm gonna finish that today. And then I want to finish The Last Word. I was getting scared last night as you guys saw, but I would like to finish that. It's just kind of weird though because I'm only like a third of the way through and I feel like I should be farther than that, if that makes sense. Like I'm curious to see like where the story is gonna go from there because the pacing was pretty quick. Like shit's going down already, so that'll be interesting. I just wanted to read it in the light of day. But yeah, that's the game plan. I'm trying to think like, okay, what's 8 hours from now? We'll say 8 a.m, 5 p.m. I'm gonna have to stop, like eat, you know, and just give my brain a rest. So I feel like I could be done by 7, right? Maybe 8. That's such a long day. Like that's literally 12 hours from now. But we're staying strong. I feel like the accomplishment I'm gonna feel when it's over, hopefully it's gonna be worth it. I do not get how people do this for 24 hours straight. Like I was thinking before I started this that I would love to do that at some point, like really try and do it for real. But how do people do that? I feel like my brain would be literal mush right now and I would be so tired, like being up all night reading and then having to like finish in the morning. I don't know if I could do it. I could try. I don't know if I could do it. I could probably do it in 2 days. I see a lot of people do that too. They do like 12 hours and 12 hours. I just cheated and gave myself the extra night, but I do not get how people do this for 24 hours straight, like for real. Hats off to them because it doesn't seem like it would be hard because you're just reading, but I don't know, maybe it's just my brain, but I don't think I could focus for that long on just reading and not stopping. Anyway, I need to shut up now because I'm just wasting time pretty much, so let's go. I don't know if this is just me, but I have to match my ambiance video to my book. Like the vibes have to be the same. Scary book set in a glass house where it's raining. This is what's on the TV. I also meant to say this in the car, but I forgot. It is rainy today and like overcast, so it is perfect reading weather. So that makes me happy and specifically perfect for this book. Also, I was gonna put on makeup, but I just can't be bothered to put on makeup just to sit in my room and read for 9 hours. So the under eye bags are here to stay. I'm sorry, they're not going anywhere. Complete change of plans. I'm at the mall. Hear me out. I got lunch with my dad and I wanted to go to the mall because I have a bridal shower tomorrow and I didn't really have like a nice top to wear. Still didn't find one, by the way, in the entire mall, so I'm gonna have to wear something I already own. And then I also wanted to get a Giants hoodie because my friends like to do Sunday fun day during football season and I just don't really have anything to wear, so I got that. I also got some Bath & Body Works fall candles and some stuff from Lush. So it was a pretty successful trip. I haven't been to the mall in years, and also being at the mall by yourself kind of slays. You don't have to wait for anyone. You can wander in and out as you please. Kind of nice. However, I am behind on my reading now for the day. It's 4 o'clock. It's gonna take me like 20-30 minutes to get home. I did read for quite a while earlier. I finished The Last Word, which was fucking crazy, but kind of fun. I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars. I was teetering between like 3 and 4 stars, but it was fun and it was entertaining, so I think I'm gonna give it 4. And then I listened to a little bit of an audiobook too, like while I was getting ready and everything. I started, what is it called? 1 Star Romance, which is so funny because it also has to do with like a 1-star review, just like The Last Word. I literally did not listen to that much at all though. I just needed something to listen to because the other book I'm reading is an ARC, so I obviously don't have like the audiobook version of it, which leaves me at 4 hours and 51 minutes still. So my dream of being done by like 7 obviously not gonna happen, but definitely still doable. Like even if I have to stay up kind of late, I'm determined to get this done at this point. Like it will get done. So I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna read I'll Get Back to You. I'm gonna light my fall candles, put my jammies back on, really try and lock in. I was doing well this morning, just the mall threw me off, but whatever. I also went and got lunch with my dad, so that took a while, but I still think we will be successful. Me, I'm the one that needs to start reading, but I think it'll be okay. They're gonna think I'm a freak. Another book complete. I finished I'll Get Back to You. It was really cute. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I have an hour and 52 minutes. It's like 9 p.m. right now. The problem is I have no idea what I want to read. I'm kind of still in a thriller mood, but I don't know. I also just want something like easy and something I don't really have to use my brain for, which like you don't really have to do that in a thriller, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna pick a romance. Look at how cute she is. I'm disturbing her. Oh my god, guys, this angle. Please. Let's see what the Kindle has in store. I do have a book I already started a few weeks ago and I never finished, called Do Me a Favor. It wasn't bad, definitely not bad, but I just felt like it's something I'd read before, you know, so I wasn't really like dying to finish it. But I think I read like half of that, so I could read that, maybe finish it. I have another book that I read like half of too. This is the life of being a mood reader. Like I just DNF so many books. I'm kind of in the mood for a cowboy romance. Shocker, I literally can't stop reading those. There's a cowboy romance from a series I read coming out on Tuesday, so I feel like I'll just wait and read that then. Can I just read fan fiction? Maybe I'll reread something because I really don't have like brain power right now. I'm wasting so much time right now. Okay, it's a few days after the 24-hour readathon, and now that my brain is working again, I thought we could sit and do a little reflection. I actually had fun and I would do it again. I feel like I was moaning and groaning while it was happening because I just wanted it to be over. But looking back, it was fun. I don't normally challenge myself when I'm reading. Like I don't really do specific TBRs or reading challenges ever. So it was fun to do that and get out of my comfort zone. It was also nice to just get through some of the books on my TBR. I normally read 1 or 2 books a week, and I read 4 books in 1 weekend, so that was also really nice. I do think though, if I was gonna do it again, I really need to lock in, like no plans at all, not leaving the house, phone on do not disturb, nobody talk to me, because I did feel like I was getting distracted by my phone a lot, which of course, so annoying. But even pausing just for a few minutes to like answer text or whatever, I felt like I was doing that a lot and it was really adding up. So I definitely would like really lock in and try and do it with no distractions. I think that would have helped. But on the other hand, because you are reading for so long, it is kind of nice to give yourself a break. But regardless, I need to get off my phone. I do want to go through the books I read and talk about them a little bit more because I didn't really want to take a super long time to talk about the books while I was reading them, obviously, because I wanted all my time to go towards the challenge. So the first book I read was The Thursday Murder Club. I was already 40% through this, so I read most of it, but I didn't read the entire book. And this one was really disappointing. I ended up not liking it. I gave it 2 stars. I thought the retirement community aspect of it was going to be really fun, and I think I just had a certain vibe in my mind that the book was gonna have, and it just didn't really have that. I thought cozy mystery, retirement village, weekly club, I was just expecting, I don't know, just more of like a cozy, wholesome vibe, and it didn't really have that, which is fine. It's just different than what I expected. And there was also so many side plots and characters and just so much going on, and I just could not keep track of who these people were or the storylines. Like there was just so much going on, and because of that I think I just didn't connect to anything or anyone, which made the ending just not satisfying because I didn't care. And I was also so confused. Maybe it's just a me problem and I was not paying attention enough, I don't know. But I was so confused for the last 30% of this book. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know who they were talking about, why it was relevant. There was just too much going on, in my opinion, and it just was not for me. But so many people love this book. Like the Goodreads reviews are so good, so I guess I'm in the minority, but that was not my favorite. There was also one thing that they were hinting at, or at least I thought they were hinting at, and it was a theory I had from pretty early on. And so I thought they were hinting at it, and I was getting really excited because I thought that would have been a really good twist. And then it ended up just being a red herring, and they don't even acknowledge it. Like I thought they would at least explain it away or explain it at all, and it just wasn't acknowledged. So that was kind of frustrating. I know this is a series and there's more books, so maybe something will come of it down the line, but I will probably not be reading those, so that aspect also disappointed me. Then I read Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is her new release, and it's the second book in the Rose Hill series. The first one was Wild Love, and in the first one the premise is he is like building a recording studio. It's like brother's best friend, so this is now that brother and a famous pop star who's coming to use the recording studio from the first book. I thought this one was really cute. It's single parent trope, which is one of my favorite tropes ever, so it just automatically gets points just for that. I did struggle a little bit at first with Skylar, the main character, because I just feel like celebrity characters and pop star characters, especially she's been famous her whole life. She's like a child star, so she's obviously just like out of touch, and it's just a classic like city girl, rich celebrity, whatever, which I obviously can't relate to. So I wasn't obsessed with her at first, but throughout the story she definitely grew on me a lot. I loved West, the love interest, so much. So cute. I loved his kids, and I thought her relationship to the kids was really cute, and I did enjoy watching her get more grounded and find herself, and seeing her relationship to fame was interesting. I'm also really excited for the next book in the series because they obviously were hinting at it a lot in this one, and I think it sounds really good and it could be my favorite of the series. But overall, I did think this was really cute. I don't like it as much as my favorite books from Chestnut Springs. I still think I like Heartless and Reckless better, but I did like it more than I liked Wild Love. So it's probably like third place in my Elsie Silver ranking. I think I gave it 3 stars, maybe 3.5. I would definitely recommend it. I'm just not obsessed with it. I also read The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This book was crazy. I don't want to get into like any specifics at all really, because the synopsis is very vague, and I think that's on purpose because you go in blind and then you don't really know what to expect, and it just is very chaotic and wild and fun and a little ridiculous, which I definitely think could be a good or a bad thing. I would not be shocked if a lot of people hated this book, but I was entertained. I had fun. I was getting scared at parts. I was kind of on the edge of my seat, and I overall had a good time, so I gave it 4 stars. I don't know, even though it was ridiculous, I liked it. It was just a ride. The only thing, well, not the only thing, like it wouldn't have been 5 stars regardless, but it's written by a man. No, but seriously, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine in general when men write books from the point of view of women, which I feel like happens a lot, particularly in thrillers and mysteries. And I can overlook that. Like, it's not a deal breaker for me, but specifically some of the plot of this book, the fact that it was written by a man, just felt kind of weird to me. The call is coming from inside the house. So that did kind of like give me the ick a little bit. Like I said, I still enjoyed it, but the whole time I was like, why did a man write this? Like, why would a man be there? It just was a little odd. But that aside, I did enjoy it and I did have fun. Then I read I'll Get Back to You, which is a sapphic holiday romance. It's set over Thanksgiving, and I sort of have conflicting feelings on this. I loved the main character. I saw so much of myself in her. It was actually like kind of weird. I related to her a lot and I loved her story. She's going to community college, which I did, working as a barista, which I did. Now she's like going into marketing, which is what I'm doing. And she talks a lot about just feeling behind and struggling with her best friend going away to a state school, and she's behind at community college and she just doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life. The premise is that she has failed accounting, which I also failed community college math, but it was statistics, not accounting. Me and her are like this, I'm telling you. She failed accounting and now she's taking it again, but she's on the brink of failing again, and she can't transfer to the state school without passing accounting. And they're out for Blackout Wednesday, which is Thanksgiving Eve, and she runs into this old classmate of hers from high school, and basically they end up doing a fake dating arrangement because her mom is the professor of the accounting class, and she recently went through a breakup and she doesn't want to have to explain that to her family. So she gets to bring a girlfriend home for Thanksgiving, and she gets to, you know, schmooze her accounting professor and try and get on her good side. And while I thought they were really cute together, I just didn't think there was enough romance. Because it only takes place over like a weekend, I just like wasn't fully buying it. Like, the romance that was there I enjoyed, I just wish there was more. But I think I still loved it so much just because I loved the main character and just related to her so much, and I still really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I would definitely recommend it. I just felt like the romance was more of a subplot than I was expecting out of a rom-com, but still a really good time. So cozy and atmospheric. It's so perfect for fall or the holiday time. It has the same vibe as like an early 2000s and 90s Christmas movie or holiday movie. It was so cozy and I really enjoyed it. It's the perfect book to like read in front of a fireplace with a mug of hot chocolate. I really did enjoy it. And then I don't think I ended up saying what I read for the last few hours of the challenge. I read like 20 pages of 5 different books and I just could not decide what I wanted to read. And at that point, I only had like an hour and a half left. I was honestly checked out. Like, I just did not know what I felt like reading, but I ended up reading more of The Pairing. I started this a few weeks ago and I don't know how much I read. And then I just like wasn't super into it, so I put it down and I picked that back up and read that for like an hour and a half, and that's what I finished the challenge with. That is a Casey McQuiston's new release about 2 bi exes who end up on the same food and wine tour in Europe, and they end up having a hookup competition to prove that they're over each other. And honestly, I'm not obsessed with it so far, which is really sad because Red, White, and Royal Blue is one of my favorite books of all time, and I love the premise of this, but I'm not loving it so far. That's what I read for the last section of the challenge. So I basically read 4 books total if you like scrounge up all the pages together, which I think is pretty good. It's an average of like 6 hours a book, and it's definitely not accurate because I listened to a few hours of audiobook and I was jumping around. I can't do an exact number of pages I read per hour, even though I would have liked to. I kind of want to like do that at some point. I think that would be fun, but I feel like that's actually not too bad. Honestly, I thought it would be slower, so I'll take it. And as much as I was crying about it and wanting it to be over, I really did have a lot of fun doing it, and I would do it again. Maybe not super soon, but I would. It was a lot of fun. If you're still watching at this point, thank you so much for being here. This was quite the ordeal, but it was so much fun. I hope you had fun as well. Let me know your favorite book you've read recently, because now I fear I'm gonna be in a slump and I'm gonna need some good book recommendations. So let me know. If you want to find me anywhere else, I'll have all my other socials down below as always, and I'll see you guys next time.